Hello friends, welcome to C++ sessions over there. Now in today's session we are going to discuss about scope resolution operator. Scope resolution operator is actually, this is an operator, two colon symbols called as scope resolution. Its actual purpose to specify the scope of that data, that member function, where that scope lies. It specifies the scope of data member functions or the variables in a program. Let us understand it, the utility of scope resolution operator while doing programming in C++. For the reference reason, I had written a program. Here it is, the program for scope resolution operator. I include iostream.h, poneo.h, and here I declare a global variable m as a 10. You know the meaning of a global variable. Global variable means which is having scope outside the main. Means that variable is accessible and processable throughout the code. That is called as global variable. So m scope is in global space. Then we have a main. Better you go with a void main, as main is not returning any value. Then we have a main, and inside main we have another m. As you know very well, redeclaration of variables in one scope is not allowed. Means you cannot declare more than one variable in one scope. But here in this case, m is declared as a global, and if you declare m again in a main, it become a automatic or local to main. So it is absolutely allowed. Then we have inside main, I had defined another block. This is called as inner block. You can declare and you can have an inner block defined by left curly bracket, right? So here main, first m having a global scope, second m which is having a scope in main, that is automatic type of variables, and there is another another inner block. Now here I declare int k equals to m. Now the question arises, int k equals to m, so what value of m will be initialized to k? Actually we are in the inner block of main, so the outer blocks m values will be assigned to k, means k will get the 20. Then int m equals to 30 means m become now the local variable of the inner block. So if you print the value of k, it will print 20. If you print the value of m, that is 30, because we are referring it in the local inner of main. So the inner block having value 30, and then if you refer scope resolution m, now here is the use of scope resolutions. If you define scope resolution of m, it means now it refers the m which is beyond this inner and main scope, and what is beyond the inner and and the main scope, that is the global variable. So here it will print the value 20. So the output you will be expecting, sorry, the 10, global m is having 10. So here global m having value 10, your main m, that is called the automatic or which is having a scope inside main, that is having value 20, and then you have an innermost block which is having m also but having 30. So it will firstly print 20. Why it is 20? Because the first of all we assign the value of m to k, and k is inner, but like what value it will carry? The value of main variable. So it is 20, then m 30, and then the scope resolution m means refer the m beyond the scope. Beyond the scope means global m, and it will print 10, right? Then we close the inner block. Now in the outer block m, now as I said, outer block m means the block of men, and m block of men having the value of m, that is 20. And again, if you refer the scope resolution, means whether you use scope resolution in the innermost block or the main block, whenever you refer the scope resolutions, it actually refers to the global value beyond the scope, right? So hope you are understanding the purpose of using scope resolution operator. Scope resolution operator is an operator having two colon symbols, which is actually used for specifying the scope of the variable. Now here in this example, right, we have a m in the global scope, we have a m in the automatic scope, means scope in the main, and we have a inner m also. So if you refer m in the inner block, then it will refer to m of its own block firstly, right? So, and before declaring m, if you refer the m, so it will refer the m of outer block. Here int k equals to m, so m was not yet declared, so the value of m was 20. That was the value of outer block. So k will get 20, then m will get 30. As I just explained, redeclaration of variables is not allowed in one scope. But there is no one scope. There is a global scope, main scope, and inner block over there, right? So it is absolutely allowed to redeclare the variables in the different scopes and carry the value. Now scope resolutions, whenever you print k will print the outer m's value firstly, that is the value of 20, then the value of local m, that is 30, and whenever you refer to the scope resolution m, so beyond inner and main scope there is one variable, global variable m, and that is having value 10. So here in the inner block the output will be 20, 30 and 10, and after in the outer block m value is actually in the outer block 20, and then in the scope resolutions you will print 10 over here. Let us save this code and run it. Check the output of our program. Okay. When tc bin in here, you have to save it by the scope.cpp. okay, get back to the C++ compiler. Here you cpp and then open the cpp programs. Here you will have a program by the name of scope. So here is the program get loaded, scope.cpp. Let us run it. So here is the output. We are in the inner block, and in the inner block We are in the inner block. In the inner block, the value is 20. That value in m, that variable m is carry the value of declaration of local, and then whenever you refer to belongs to the outer block equals to, in the outer block m is whenever of use of, or let's say primary use of, what is scope resolution? Scope resolution specify the scope of a variable, right? Here in this case there are three scopes available: global scope, main scope, and the inner block scope. And by using scope resolutions we declare the three variables m in the global scope, main scope, and the inner scope. And whenever you want to refer the variable belong to the different scope, then how we can use it? By using scope resolution operator. Because if you just simply write m, it will refer m its local refer m of its local block. And if you want to refer the m which is beyond the scope of it, then you can use the scope resolution operator. Hope you understand it, right? So now let us go for another utility of scope resolution operator over here. Demo scope resolution operator. What I will do now here, .h and the conio.h. We are going to write the object oriented versions, so main will become later, right? Bottom to top approach. So first of all, let us understand we'll defining arithmetic operation, right? Class arith. So let us just for the sake of understanding, there is a arithmetic class and it got the two private data, that is integer a comma b, and in the public I'm writing this code for the sake of demonstration of scope resolutions. What I will do, I'll just like declare member function prototype, like we got a void get data integer means I'll be reading the two integer variables. From as input from the user, and by that I can initialize this private data. So I'm just like going to declare only the prototype of it. What is the purpose of it? I'm going to explain you, right? Obviously, by using scope resolution operator, I'm going to define these functions outside the class. Okay, so here I'm just like specifying the prototype. So I'm needing a get data, then I'll be having a show data. Show data don't have arguments because I have to just print the values of a and b, and then I'm having an int add which will add the two values, then int subtract, it will subtract. I'm just like giving an example of it just for the reason of understanding scope resolution operator. And let us say I defined four functionalities of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? You can add more modules and compare and all, but like I'm just like in this particular demonstrative code, I'm just trying to explain you how I can use the scope resolution operator to specify the scope of data members or member functions, like where it lies sort of. So how to use scope resolution operator, right? So here I specify the only the prototypes, that's it. Then this is end of class. Friends, I want to define these all the functionalities outside the class. Up till now we understand that encapsulation means wrapping of that all the private data and the public functions together. So in my previous examples I declare and initialize or define that all the functionalities inside class only. but here I have to use the scope resolution operator. So what I'm trying to do now, I just need to declare that all the prototypes of the functions inside class, and one by one manner I can define them outside the class as well. Let's have a definition of it. So first function I'm going to define void get data integer x comma integer y, maybe because here I will get the inputs from the user as an argument to x and y, and that x and y value will be assigned to the local a and b. But now this get data I'm defining, get data is not a local function, it is having a scope inside class arith. So I have to specify it. How I can specify it? Okay, arith scope resolution void arith scope resolution get data int x int y. So now it become a member function of arith class whenever you specify the scope resolutions, right? So how you can read it? Get data is a function which is having return type void but having scope inside arith and have a two arguments x and y, and then a equals to x and b equals to y. In this manner you can initialize the values of private data of a and b. Then void arith scope resolution show data. It don't have any arguments. The purpose is to print the values. So see out the value of a and the value of b and NL, right? Then you can define int arith scope resolution add return a plus b. Likewise you can define the all functionalities like subtraction a minus b, multiplication a into b, a divided by b. So in this manner now, by using scope resolution operator, I declare all the member functions prototype inside the class, and then by using scope resolution I specify the scope of that function and able to define that all the functionality outside the class. Hope you understand the concept of scope resolution operator, right? And then you need to go to the main, clear the screen. It's a bottom to top programming approach. Clear the screen, see out, enter two numbers. You ask the user to enter two numbers. You declare two variables like int a comma b, c in a and b, c in a. Okay, enter first number, let's say, make it more simple. Second number, that is b. Then you create the object of arith. Arith at is the object of arith. At becomes an object of arith. After that, at dot get data, you are giving call to get data and pass on this a comma b as an argument. So the call goes to the definitions of get data, which is having scope in the arith. The local mains a and b will be passed on to x and y, and then by this x and y the values of a and b, which is private to the arithmetic, will be initialized, right? After that, if you write at dot show data, it will display the data, the value of a and b, and then if you want to perform arithmetics, then at dot add. So the addition will be printed, and in this manner addition, subtraction, at dot subtract, multiplication, at dot multiplications, and division. Okay, that's it. You can use get ch to hold the screen if required. Okay, and just like, hope you understand it, we define a class arith having two private data a comma b. I declare all the prototype of the functions, right, which are the member function of the class, but I haven't defined them there because I have to use a scope resolution. Because let us understand what is the utility of it, what is the use of it. If you have n number of functions, so you can declare there, and then you can define them whenever it is required and wherever it is required. It is not compulsory that while writing class only you can define all the functionalities. You can just specify the prototype and define them in the different scope. Clear? So here, by using scope resolution, you are specifying, you are going to tell a compiler that this get data having scope in arith class, that show data having scope in arith class. That is the purpose of using scope resolution operator, right? So in this manner, I will define all the functions, and then we define the main and call all the functions over there. All right, let us save it. Maybe scope demo dot cpp now, and back to yes, scope demo dot cpp. Load that program. Not loading, it means oh, maybe specified wrong. Demo. Fine, we'll do one thing, we'll exit of it, and reload the resolution operator.